we're going to be doing.
Welcome to Big Dreams webinar.
I'm Timothy,
I'm Serena Vasegi,
the founder of the Serenity Group,
the founder of the Serenity Group,
and the public community.
and I'm his partner, Chris Stevenson.
I'm from Superbody. I'm from Superbody.
I was born with cerebral palsy,
And to be honest, it sucks.
and to be honest, it sucks.
But I always have big dreams. I always have big dreams.
But I've always had big dreams,
And I finally do kind of big dreams.
and I found a way to accomplish my big dreams.
On the road, run the
I'm the writer who can't write and the speaker who can't speak.
and in a few minutes, Chris will take it about us and I do gonna teach you how to come to your dreams.
In a few minutes, I'll take over and I'll tell you a little bit about us and how you can accomplish your big dreams.
So sit back,
So sit back,
and take a lot of notes.
take a lot of notes,
Because you're gonna learn how to tackle life.
because you're gonna
Learn how to tackle your life.
learn how to transform your life.
Hey, Grace.
Yes,
Let's split it up.
I will try not to screw it up.
Thank you very much. Are you ready?
Thank you very much. Are you ready?
Let's get out of it.
Let's get on with it. All right, let's get started. Here's the first and most important thing to start with, and that's thinking about your success. How do you define success? There's a good chance for you could define success by saying, I've accomplished my big dreams. The things that are changing the world, making the world a better place, helping people out, and I feel fulfilled and satisfied. That's probably how you define it. Now, some of you have a crystal clear picture of what your big dreams look like. Others of you kind of have some ideas, but it's not quite crystallized yet. But no matter where you're at in this process, in the back of your mind as we go through everything we're going to share, is think about your success. And as Serena and I share this information, we're going to share things that we've used to be successful, things we've used, tools, tactics, strategies to accomplish our big dreams. But what you want to keep in the back of your head is, as you hear the information that we share that definitely works, how does it apply directly to your success? Because ultimately, that's what this is all about, and that's what we're here to help you with. So, you may have come here because you're tired of chasing your dreams without ever catching it. You've had great ideas, things you know would make a difference if you accomplished them, things that would make you feel fulfilled, but you haven't quite been able to accomplish that. Or you're just about to give up on it, but you want to give it that one last go. Well, I have great news. If that's the case, you've tried, and you just can't seem to get there, and you're giving it one last go, you picked the right last go. Because again, the things we're going to share with you are foolproof tactics that are going to work as long as you take action and apply them. Maybe you've tasted what it's like to reach your dreams, so you had a little bit of success, but you hadn't figured out how to keep on going. So maybe you feel like, I was just lucky. Well, that's not the case. I do believe in luck to some extent, but what it comes from is planning and strategy and taking action and doing the right things. So maybe you've had some moderate success and you feel like that's all you're capable of. Well, that's not the case. You are capable of greatness. You are capable of achieving your big dreams. Okay? And again, in this e-class, we're going to show you just how to do that. But here's the big question. Here is the number one question, the $1 million question. The big thing you need to ask yourself. Are you ready to stop being a dream chaser and become a master dream catcher? So at this point, you're wondering, who is this guy talking to me right now? My name is Chris Stevenson. I've been an entrepreneur and in the health and fitness industry for over 20 years. My journey started as a personal trainer and a group exercise instructor. And with that, I tried to be the best trainer I could be and an awesome group exercise instructor, and I was fairly successful. But I outgrew that, and I've always been an entrepreneur at heart. So I thought, I can do more than working at some gym training people and teaching group exercise. So I opened up a facility. And this was long before the studio market in the fitness industry was a big thing. I took a chance, and it paid off. And I opened up a 2,000 square foot small personal training only studio and was a very successful training studio in Los Angeles. But again, as a dreamer, I always wanted to do more. So even though we had a good thing going, I thought, how can I make a bigger difference, a bigger impact? So I thought, it's time to open a full service health club. So 8 years ago, I opened a full service health club. And I'm proud to say we've done a great job. We've had our speed bumps and hurdles, and there's a learning curve, and it's a hyper-competitive market. But we stay on top of our game, we continuously learn, work on best practices, and strive to do our best, and it's resulted in some pretty incredible success. One thing to note about the success is we have one of the highest rated customer experiences for gym members in the country. I'm pretty proud of that. We've worked very hard strategically to make sure that we provide a better member experience than any of our competitors, and we've been successful. Because of some of the success that we've had, and I'm still an operator, I still run my club, I've had the opportunity to present and consult literally all over the world. From China to Japan to Mexico to Portugal to Australia, all over the world, as well as all over the US. I present, I speak, I run team meetings, and it's all because of the stuff I've done as an operator that's worked well, and I go and share that with people. So it's a pretty cool experience. So that's a little bit about myself. Now, more importantly, let's talk a little bit about Serena. So some of you know some and some don't, so I'm going to start from the beginning. But Serena was born with severe cerebral palsy. For those that don't know, cerebral palsy affects Serena's nervous system. So Serena is in a wheelchair, and Serena has trouble controlling his muscles, which means that he has a hard time speaking coherently, and he has a hard time writing and movement. But Serena's that guy that, despite all of those limitations given to him by cerebral palsy, has still created some amazing success. Serena never, although he dreamt big, always had his doubts that he would be as successful as he was. So there was a tipping point in Serena's life where he figured he would just go to a community college close to home, learn some stuff, live at home. But at that point in time, he's like, no, I want to go bigger. So he decided to apply to USC. He got in, became more independent, although he had some help to deal with some of the limitations, but graduated from USC, and after USC became an entrepreneur who created the Serena V Group. And the Serena V Group is a group that produces content to help people, does coaching, does keynote speeches, all kinds of things to help people accomplish their big dreams. Another thing to note about Serena, I think this is a really interesting fact, is he's known as the writer who can't write and the speaker who can't speak. So with Serena, the limitations from cerebral palsy prevented him from physically being able to write and physically being able to communicate so that everyone understands him. That would pretty much cement the fact that you're never going to be an award-winning writer or a keynote speaker. It didn't stop him. Through strategies and tools and partnering with the right people, Serena is now an award-winning author and one of the most motivational and inspirational keynote speakers you will ever hear. And by the way, I think what's interesting to note about Serena is he had all those limitations from the cerebral palsy, but he also faced a lot of limitations that we all face, and the struggles and the issues, the roadblocks, the speed bumps that get in our way. So everything we've had to face, myself included, Serena has had to face too. And add in the fact that he has severe cerebral palsy. So you can see it's pretty amazing what Serena's been able to accomplish in regards to his big dreams. So we'll talk a little bit more in a bit about specific things that we've been able to deal with and create some success despite issues that pop in the way. But a couple things to think about. What stops us from reaching our dreams with full force? What are some of the things holding you back? A lack of motivation. So even though we have these big dreams, there's definitely times where we're just not motivated. We're not motivated to do what it takes to get there. And there are reasons that we lack this motivation, which we'll talk about. Confusion around a real purpose. This we see all the time with people. You have to have a crystal clear vision of what your big dream is. And oftentimes people think big, which is great, and have big dreams, but they're too nebulous. And you've got to dial that down into a very visible, visceral, crystal clear big dream in order to accomplish that. Overwhelmed with the confusion, right? When you're trying to do anything amazing, obviously there's a lot of steps, a lot of processes, a lot of intricate parts that need to come together correctly, and it can get confusing. And that confusion sometimes paralyzes us. So we'll help you make sure that things aren't as confusing as you think they might be. Impatience. We all want to be that overnight success. If I told you to name 3 overnight successes, you could probably do it. But then I would say that's not correct. That's not accurate. Because every overnight success may appear that way, but it came from years and years of diligent, hard work and discipline to create the success. The only thing is, we see it all of a sudden, so it seems like an overnight success. But the fact of the matter is, overnight success is not a real thing, but that concept sometimes makes us impatient, and patience is part of accomplishing your big dreams. Too many excuses. We all make excuses. It's just a part of life. The problem is when you make too many. I mean, things will come up and get in our way, and there may be a legitimate reason why we fall short or can't accomplish something, but we simply reroute, redirect, and we figure out how to accomplish that. But it's so easy, and it's human nature to just make excuse after excuse, and it's funny, but excuses comfort us enough to be okay with the fact that we're not accomplishing our big dreams. Well, we're here to tell you that excuses are not the answer, and you're going to stop making them. Some of the specific excuses: not enough time, not enough money, not enough skills, I don't deserve this. Now that's a very interesting one. These are pretty crystal clear. But how many times have you thought, man, look at that guy who's so successful, I could never do that? Oftentimes we think we just don't deserve it. Well, that is nonsense, because you do deserve it. Your big dream is going to change the world. It's going to change your personal life. You deserve that. But far too often we just feel like we don't. And that's just inaccurate. I hate when I hear that, and we're going to make sure you never feel that way again. I'm not special. That kind of ties into that. You know, this special people do these big things. Special people make millions of dollars. Special people change the world, innovate technology. No. People who work hard and do the right things do all of those things. And that can be you too. This is impossible. Okay? It's not. Your big dreams are very possible. Again, it's just maybe you don't have the tools to do it. And that's why we're so grateful you're here in this e-class, because as we share this information, we're going to make sure that not only do you realize this is possible, but you'll feel that it's probable. So as I told you before, the information that we share is real. There's so many people out there giving information that are great speakers, and they've got energy and charisma, and they're giving you these ideas, but they really haven't walked the walk. So that's what's so valuable about the Big Dreams E-Class, is the information that you're given is stuff that has worked, and it's worked for myself and Serena. So what I want to share with you are some examples based on our personal lives and people that we know of things that we've come up against, so you know that we've been in the same situation. So I will tell you, getting into the fitness industry, there were some big problems, especially when we opened up our traditional health club, the full service club. First of all, super competitive industry, and it's only getting worse. So that was a big fear going in. I'm like, I feel like I do a good job, and I feel pretty special. I feel like I work hard and I'm talented, but is that enough to deal with the fact that we are just inundated with competition, and it's getting crazier? It's only becoming more and more and more. And in the fitness industry, for those that don't know, only 20% of the population for the last 30 years has belonged to a club. Yet the amount of clubs and studios and every new fitness trend keeps continuing to increase. So the supply is outdoing the demand. So that was a hurdle for me. I was scared. I was questioning myself and my ability to get things done. I was worried that the fitness industry itself, just the demographic of supply outgrowing the demand, was a big issue. I also, obviously, opening a club, had to raise a bunch of money. So I had to go out and I had to raise money to do this, so I was worried about having enough money to do this correctly. Because I was a startup, even though I had fitness experience with a smaller studio, I didn't have the systems of a big facility. It wasn't a franchise. They didn't have me a playbook. So there were a lot of insecurities that I was dealing with. So it was, do I have enough time to do everything, since we're literally creating everything from scratch? Can I raise enough capital to do this correctly and not run out of money as we're trying to open? Can I succeed despite the super competitive fitness market? Am I good enough? So when we talked about that a little bit ago, the question did pop in. Am I good enough? And then if we were to be successful, we were to do a good job from the start, how the heck am I going to stay relevant in an industry that changes so frequently? So those were some serious hurdles and insecurities that I had to figure out ways to strategically deal with on a regular basis, because some of those don't go away. Maybe my confidence is better because I've done it successfully for a while, but doubt still creeps in. Maybe we're doing a great job and we have the best practices and systems, but then the industry changes and we got to implement new technologies. So we got to innovate again. So again, some challenges do go away when you learn how to deal with them, but other ones are always there. So it's a continual process of having the fortitude to stick with it despite new challenges or challenges that keep arising, and staying on top of that. So that's a little bit about my personal life and some of the stuff that I went through in order to get where I am. And by the way, and then going into consulting and going into presenting and speaking all over the world, the doubt crept in again. Am I a good enough presenter that audiences will like me? Am I good enough to give them great information that they'll be able to use? Am I going to be able to get booked enough? When I consult with a company or a facility, am I good enough to go in there and, even though I've done it myself, be able to take what we've done and implement it somewhere else so they can be successful. So again, do I have enough time to manage all these clients? Do I, all of those different things creep up in that industry as well. So those are all things that, despite all those limitations, insecurities, challenges, issues, speed bumps, I was willing to deal with it. And again, we'll share some of that information on how you get to that point where you feel good about dealing with these things. Now on to Serena. As I said before, and as you've seen with Serena, let's just take cerebral palsy at first. Literally limits and changes and alters every aspect of his life. Some things he cannot do by himself, so he has to is dependent on other people. The frustration when it's hard to communicate by yourself, when someone else has to help you with that. Having great ideas but not being able to write them down, having to wait till you have somebody to help write it down. So the cerebral palsy in itself is a big issue, but I will tell you this, after getting to know Serena, it wasn't his biggest challenge. He learned to deal with all that stuff, accepted reality for what it was, knew cerebral palsy wasn't going anywhere, and said, this is my reality. I'm going to put in a bunch of strategies, get the right people to help me, and figure out how to make all this work. And he did, and it's incredible. But think about this. Serena had all the same issues that we have, that I've had. He was insecure. When you're a writer, you're super insecure. For those of you who've never written anything, if you're in the mood to just feel super insecure, go ahead and write an article and hand it to someone to read. When I wrote my first article, I didn't realize how tough it was to be a writer. Because these are all my ideas, thoughts, and I put them on paper, and I hope they're good. You may hate them. So as a writer, Serena struggled with some of those insecurities. Is my writing good enough? Will people understand what I'm trying to say? Will it make an impact? Will it make a difference? The insecurities of going up on stage. So again, with the cerebral palsy, will people relate to a speaker that has such a big disability? Is my message good enough? Will I be able to inspire? And I will tell you personally, when Serena started the Serena V group, and now it's very successful, but when it started, there were issues. And one of Serena's biggest things was the inability to focus. Serena was the idea man. And to his credit, when you're sitting in a chair all day with inability to take notes, write, and do that stuff on your own, you have to wait for people, all you do is think. And Serena is one of the great thinkers of our generation. But one of the problems was he thought so much that we would show up at our Serena V group meetings, and Serena would be like, I have 700 ideas. And guess what? When you're that scattered and you have those ideas, that many ideas, nothing happens. So with Serena, it was his ability to figure out ways to create a better focus, better time management, better organizational skills that really helped him succeed, because those were areas that he was struggling with. And we've seen it a lot. We've seen it with people that we work with. We've seen it with friends that are in similar industries. We've had friends that have these great ideas that they just never execute because they're trying to manage their day job with this entrepreneurship, and they're never willing to put enough time into entrepreneurship. They say they have no time. Or in order to put out materials and websites and hire people, I just don't have enough money. And instead of figuring that out, they just let that become an excuse and become a hurdle. So we have these real life examples. And again, it boils down to common barriers. And you can even see a thread with myself and Serena. So common barriers, even though our stories are very different, scared we're not good enough. Do we have enough time? I don't have enough knowledge or organizational skills. I can't manage time. I'm afraid I'm going to fail. That's a big one. Personally, can you handle disappointment when you do fall short? By the way, on your way to your big dreams, it's not perfect. You don't just get there. You make some progress, you fall back. You come across challenges. The question is what you do in the face of that challenge. So there are common barriers that we all face. Not enough time, not enough money, not enough confidence, not enough motivation, lack of clarity of ideas, lack of systems and organization, lack of the right team. Those are all common barriers that we all experience. But again, people that like us and other people that you've seen achieve amazing success and accomplish their big dreams have figured out ways to deal with all of these things. And you will too. And that's what this E-Class is for. So I do want to share this too. And this was Serena's vision, but here's 5 things every successful person who consistently reaches their dreams has. An enduring level of commitment to their true purpose and dreams. Fitness is a great example, so I'll use that. Raise your hand if you think it's important to be healthy and fit. I'm sure every hand goes up. Raise your hand if you're doing something about it. Not as many hands go up. So even though we all know that this is an essential, important part of our lives, not all of us are doing it. So oftentimes we say things like, we should do this, we should do this, we know we should do this, this is a great idea, but we're not truly committed to that. But people that accomplish those big dreams, back to fitness, people that do lose a lot of weight, change their bodies, get super healthy and feel better, have an enduring level of commitment. And that enduring is a key word. We can all be committed for a short time, although that may not even be the definition of commitment, but it's got to be a commitment that lasts forever. The mastery of identifying and excusing excuses when they're counterproductive to your success. One thing Seren is really big on, and it's interesting, is excuses. Obviously, you're always told, don't make an excuse. Well, here's the thing. Legitimate things happen. But the only time they're an excuse, when I say legitimate things happen, that get in your way, that slow you down, that hold you back. But the only time they're an excuse is when you let them control your fate. So excuses happen, but people that accomplish their big dreams, people that are successful, that are consistently accomplishing their big dreams, just figure out how to deal with that excuse and make sure it doesn't happen again and how to move forward despite that. An understanding that you have to be ordinary before the extraordinary. Here's the key thing. Big concept with Serena, and I love it. We talked before about that overnight success, and I said it doesn't happen. It's years of hard work and diligence. But here's the thing. All you have to do is ordinary thing, ordinary thing, ordinary thing, ordinary thing, ordinary thing, and all of those ordinaries add up to extraordinary. And when you open your mindset and you view things like that, it makes these big dreams that sometimes seem so big you'll never accomplish it, much more reasonable. Because it's simply a bunch of small steps of ordinary tasks and ordinary tactics and ordinary follow-up and ordinary systems that if you execute on a regular basis, cumulatively add up to extraordinary. So never forget that. I love that concept. An insatiable hunger for success. This is another one. This goes back to your drive. When you truly believe in your big dream that it's going to make a difference, that it's going to change the world, change your own life, that gives you that insatiable hunger for success. You've got to truly want it. And again, if I use fitness as an example, oh no, I totally want to be fit. That's not an insatiable hunger for success. I truly want to be fit and I'm willing to get up in the morning and hit the gym every day, make better choices with my food, and really focus on it. That's an insatiable hunger for success. And an internal sense of perseverance. Perseverance is such a great word. Basically, how we define perseverance is the ability to stay on track when things get challenging. When you have a speed bump, a hurdle, an issue, do you call it a problem or do you call it a challenge? I know that's just semantics, but people that see things as problems are the ones that are making excuses, giving up, losing motivation, and falling off track. When something gets in your way that's unexpected or slows you down and you're like, that's an interesting challenge. With challenges, we look for solutions. With problems, we give up. So you need to see everything as challenge. So for us, that's what perseverance is. It's looking at speed bumps as challenges, not problems. And no matter what happens, when things get tough or you're tired or your personal life gets, whatever it is, you stay on track. You need that internal source. So there you have it. We've laid the foundation. We've talked about big dreams, what it takes. We've given you tangible examples. We talked about what's holding you back, and you've been taking notes the whole time. So this is the time you do some self-reflection. You think about those big dreams. Are they clear enough? You think about the things that are holding you back, and you take notes on how you're going to deal with those things in order to achieve your big dreams. Here's your next step. Big Dreams Bootcamp. Big Dreams Bootcamp is Serena's baby. It's his special creation. It was him sharing all the information it took to accomplish his amazing dreams. So with the Big Dreams Bootcamp, the questions you have to ask yourself are, since we just went through that webinar, do you have even bigger dreams than you did before it? And you should, because maybe your dream is now crystal, which makes it bigger. Maybe after you thought about things, you were like, yeah, that was a big dream, but it could be even bigger. Hopefully that's what you got from the webinar, is that your dreams should be bigger than they've ever been. But you're probably still having issues with commitment or clarity around those dreams. We answered some of those questions, but obviously you've been taking notes, and I'm sure you're looking at some of the things that you wrote down that are holding you back on, yeah, that's an issue. That's a challenge. How do I deal with that? Now, hopefully you've gotten inspired as well, but how badly do you want to catch your dream? Okay, and that's the key. We talked about perseverance and motivation and clarity of purpose. How badly do you want to catch your dream? Because none of the steps matter if you don't truly, desperately, badly want to accomplish that big dream. Now, why should you want that? Why? Because as we said before, as a person who's accomplished some big dreams. And by the way, for everything Serena's accomplished and I've accomplished, we're proud. And we've worked hard and we've done a good job. But all it does is lead to more, even bigger dreams that we have now. You hit a big dream, you set a bigger one. And that's just an endless process. But again, when you catch that dream, you change the world and you change yourself. And that's hard to do, and there's nothing better than that. So that's some stuff to think about. So with the Big Dreams Bootcamp, what is that going to give you? What will you come out with? Well, you're going to come out with a mastery and commitment. After Big Dreams Bootcamp, you will fully be committed to accomplishing your big dream. No doubt about it. You'll be on track. Nothing will be able to ruin that commitment. You will be fully committed. You'll have mastered it. You'll have mastered in taking charge of your life and throwing excuses out the window. We talked about excuses and how, yes, there are some excuses, but what excuses really are things that hold you back. So as long as something pops up that gets in your way and you find a way to deal with it, you put a system in place to make sure that it's not an issue anymore, that's when you get rid of excuses. So you're going to take charge of your life. And I will tell you this, as a guy who is part of the Serena V group, who's running a health club, who's on the road 40% of the year consulting and speaking, taking charge of my life was huge. So you're going to learn how to take charge of your life. And you know what that means? A good to-do list. You know what it means? An even better to-don't list. I can't tell you how many things I had to cut out of my life that weren't supporting my big dreams. So you're going to learn how to do that. Now, as I said, a to-don't list is more important than a to-do list. A mastery, doing the ordinary things so you can be extraordinary. This is where the systems come in. This is where the regiment comes in. We're going to help you create systems and a regiment that are going to take those ordinary, and those are just ordinary steps that are going to lead to the extraordinary. Because you can't succeed, you can't scale, you can't grow without systems and a regimen in place. An insatiable hunger for success. Throughout this whole process, Serena's going to keep you fired up. I know just from working with him, he's one of the most inspirational men on the planet. And I mean that. Serena inspires and motivates and educates, and it's crazy. But throughout this whole process, he's going to keep you driven. He's going to help create that hunger so that you maintain that hunger for success. A never-ending fire that pushes you to get better and greater. Just like that insatiable hunger, we accomplish our big dream. What's next? More, more, more. That's what Serena's done. He could have stopped after he wrote his first award-winning book. He's like, no, I'm an award-winning author. Now I want to be an award-winning keynote speaker. And he's on track to do that. And even with that, he's like, no, it's not good enough that I'm successful. I want to help other people. Let's form the Serena V group. Let's create Big Dreams Bootcamp. How can I help more people? Same thing with me. Trainer, Group X. I got to open my own place. I got to open a bigger place. I got to help other people open places. So what we're going to create is that fire that pushes you to be better and greater. So how do we do this? What exactly do you get? We get 5 weeks of online training. Okay? So 5 weeks of incredible content online that you can consume at your own pace based on your schedule. 3 powerful lessons each week. So again, you'll get 3 lessons each week, very different, interesting content, tangible things in there. Again, I can't stress that enough, and I will tell you that even as a presenter, whenever I present to a huge group of people, I don't go up there and say, idea, 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 idea. I say, I'm an operator. So as I tell you these things, they're not ideas, because ideas are concepts. These are things that we do on a daily basis to make our businesses successful. And that's what you're going to get with the Big Dreams Bootcamp in these powerful lessons. Real things. And I think that's important to know. Reflection exercises. This is sort of the beginning of the take action part. Because again, we can talk at you, and our information is great. I truly believe that, and I've seen it help people time and time again. But again, if you're not participating, then you're not going to be successful. So we've got reflections exercises that will help you learn to take action on a consistent basis. And then a deep dive roundtable. And this was something that Serena decided to add in as he put together Big Dreams Bootcamp. He thought, wouldn't it be great if we just sat around and kind of talked off script and off content just about different issues and problems and have sort of some real conversation. So while everything is great and legit and real and awesome content that's going to give you direction, this is the deep dive roundtable at the end, where we simply comment on it, so you're going to get some extra ideas, more real life examples, and more real talk. So it's pretty cool. So, Big Dream Bootcamp include, again, 5 powerful modules, 3 lessons in each module, the roundtable with Serena at the end of each module. So again, recapping everything, giving you some additional thoughts and ideas. 2 perspectives. That's myself and Serena. And it's pretty interesting. It's kind of fun to do. So one of the reasons I love working with Serena is I know that I add some value based on my experience, some of my success, but it's just great to work with somebody as brilliant as Serena and bounce ideas off each other and learn from each other. It's just really cool. Again, you get the reflection exercises. So that's the part where we ask you to take action. I'll tell you again, as a presenter, when I present best practices and concepts, as soon as I present one, I stop the audience and I say, right now, write down 2 to 3 things that you're going to implement right away. Because ideas are just ideas. Action is where the change takes place. That's where the big dreams are accomplished. It's in the action. And as a bonus, and again, Serena is consistently over-delivering. He wants to make sure, you hear people talk about, yeah, let's try to meet our customers' expectations. Not Serena. He's like, we don't meet customers' expectations. We exceed customers' expectations. We want people to be so wowed by what we provide. So, the bonus, an extra week of material. So he told you 5, you're going to get 6. Again, because he has so much to deliver and so much knowledge to share. He just wanted to give it extra. 4 powerful lessons talking about teamwork. And this is pretty awesome because whether you're the one-man or one-woman show right now, you're just an entrepreneur starting out, whatever that looks like, at some point, in order to scale, continue to grow, as that fire burns inside you, pushing those big dreams and elevating everything, you're going to need more than yourself. So this is the beginning of being able to build and put a team together. And that's important because, again, greatness doesn't come by yourself. So, Big Dreams Bootcamp, all of those amazing things. And again, all of those things are what's included, but here's what really happens. Here's what you really get. You get a roadmap. You get a roadmap from right where you are right now to accomplishing your big dreams. Okay? You get a roadmap from an idea to reality. You get a roadmap from somebody who has some good thoughts and thinks, maybe there's some stuff I can do that will make a difference. From there to personal satisfaction, personal success, and accomplishing something that helps change the world and make it a better place. That's awesome. So, Big Dreams Bootcamp is available for $297. That's it. This is one of the best values in this industry. Truly. I've seen everything, worked with other people. This is ridiculous for what you get for just $297. And you can also do it in 3 payments of $120. So $297, if you are starting an entrepreneur and budget, as we know, is all super important, simply spread that payment out to 3 payments of $120. But the best part is, you're not buying something. You're investing. You're investing in your own education, motivation. You're investing in yourself and your future. So when you accomplish these big dreams, you'll look back and think, that was the best investment I ever made. And then you'll email us, and you'll thank us. And that will make our day. But again, truly one of the best values in the industry. And Serena believes so much in what he's done that you get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you decide to invest in Big Dreams Bootcamp and aren't completely satisfied, within 30 days you get your money back. The reason Serena did this is because it works. It absolutely works. I can't stress it enough that what Serena shares are not ideas. They are tangible strategies, tips, and tools, and I know I've said it before, that have helped a guy born with cerebral palsy accomplish some amazing, amazing stuff. So these things work as long as you take action. Again, they don't work if you simply watch and don't do anything. But if you watch, take notes, do the reflections, watch the roundtables, and then put a plan into place to execute, they absolutely work, which is why Serena will give you a money-back guarantee if they don't. Serena's never given a money-back guarantee, by the way. So, I hope you're fired up. I hope you're ready to go. Just talking to you has got me fired up. So, you learned a lot in the webinar. You now know everything that Big Dreams Bootcamp has to offer. If you're serious about your big dreams, and you should be, because they're going to change the world and they're going to satisfy you as an individual, you're going to click below to get involved with Big Dreams Bootcamp. What are you waiting for? Let's start on the path to accomplishing those big dreams today. Click below now.